What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video, ticker symbol AAPL, where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we're looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Apple stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let me go ahead and pull up the chart, hit record, and we'll get right into the video. So a small green day for Apple. We're up about $1.08 on the day, which is about 0.82%. So not a crazy day in either direction, but still green, making a higher high and a higher low, so I'll take that. That came on a day when the NASDAQ was down about 0.5%. Dow Jones was up 0.64%, and the S&P was green 0.22% as well. So overall, Apple doing a decent bit better than the market, which is definitely great to see. Let me take a look at some small piece of news that came out. I don't necessarily, think this is going to be huge, at least not yet. But I wanted to cover it because it came out today. So we got news that Apple's going to launch a foldable phone in 2023, emerge as biggest winner. It's the famed analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who's been actually pretty right about a lot of things Apple related. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got that. It's an 8-inch QHD plus flexible OLED screen. And Samsung's going to be the one supplying it. Right now, I think there's a Samsung phone out there that's pretty similar to what this sounds like. They're estimating 15 to 20 million units in sales. And, it's going to have cool things like being able to have a huge phone while not being, or being able to have a huge screen while not being a huge phone to put in your pocket. So, I mean, if we get more news on that, that could definitely be cool. Think it's a little bit away, and I don't necessarily think it'll change, everything for the good. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a major game changer, at least not yet. Again, as we get more details, then I think we can start to price that in. Is it going to be a super premium phone? Is it going to be, kind of a one-off thing? Are they going to kind of add another line, right? So a lot of things still in the works that as I find out, I'll obviously let you guys know as well. But I think for the time being, we don't necessarily have, a lot to go off of. Similar to the car, right? Is it coming? Is it not coming? Is it coming in 2024? So there's a lot that we just don't know. So now let's take a look at Apple price action, and then I actually want to kind of talk about the market a little bit because we are in a new month. And I told you guys April was good for the market. Well, what does May mean for the market? So we'll take a look at that. So today we were kind of in between the 131 and the 132 levels, and right out of the gate we pushed up going all the way to 134, and then we came actually right back down. If you take a look here where we started, here where we kind of bounced, and then the reason I'm keeping the line there is because we bounced there once and twice and then pushed up and faded. So I don't know what this push and sell-off was related to. The push was nice, the sell-off wasn't, but still ended up about $1 green on the day, so I'll take that. Did not really like kind of this this sell-off, and as you can see, we were spending a lot of time here in the 132s level. So let's take a look real quick at this daily chart, you guys, and we'll see what we see. And here we had this bull pennant that we broke out of. It was really nice. If you caught that movement, right, you could have ridden Apple up from kind of the 120s to the mid 130s, and then as you saw here, we struggled at that 135 line for 7 or 8 days. Finally broke above it with some killer earnings, but then we actually sold off and gave up not only what we had in the after hours, but then some, and now we're back in the low 130s. So what do we have coming up in levels of support, levels of resistance? Well, first level of support we have is down here, you guys. We got the 131.51 level, which is also the 21 EMA. Below that, we got the 130 level, and then I think below that, what we have is 128.54. So it's really crucial that if we, sell off a little bit, 130 is kind of the point that needs to hold. Otherwise, we got downside to the 128s. On the upside, mid 132s, 133.45, and then 135. What I don't like about the past 2 days is take a look at these candles, right? They're not the nicest looking candles. From the high point to where we've ended the day has been a decent sell-off. So That's something that's slightly concerning, but we did make a higher high and a higher low today, so that's kind of the good news there. Again, 133.45 and then 135.01 are kind of the two levels that I'm looking at on the upside. So again, I'm hoping, if we see a little green week this week, for us to end kind of somewhere in the 133 to 135 range, not expecting a lot of movement. We could get, some downside, we could get some upside if we get random news, but my guess is we end up here in the 133 and the 135 range. Maybe we go up for another day or two, sell off, go up, something along those lines. In terms of, my Apple shares, always continue to hold them. My covered call is actually this week's 131. So depending on how Apple trades, maybe I'll get to roll that one more time. As you guys saw from yesterday, I was pretty darn close to being in the money. We had another green day about $1, so I'm getting farther away from that as well. So holding on to that, rolling it. Usually I'm not paying anything to roll it. So that's the key thing with rolling, is you get to do that because you're adding time to it. So a 1:30 call for this Friday is going to be cheaper than a 1:30 call for next Friday. So if I can do two things. I can either buy back my 131 for this week, sell next week's 131, or I could buy back this week's, I have the 131 for this week. So I could buy back this week's 131, sell next week's 132. Typically, depending on how IV is and if Apple's running or coming down, you might even be able to do that for free. So that's like getting $1 worth on your covered call for free. Or I could just buy back this week's 131, sell to open next week's 131, and I'd actually get credit, which means I'd get more money. And then at that point, I'm hoping for Apple to come below 131. So I'll keep you guys posted on which one of those I do. Just depends on how Apple trades over the next couple of days. Now, another thing I want to talk about, as always, our RSI here is looking fine. But with the S&P, we're pretty close to all-time highs, right? We're RSI is in the 60s, which is pretty overbought. We're not too far from all-time highs, which we made 2 days ago on the 420s. So what am I about to talk about here? Not scaring you guys, not trying to say sell everything, right? I'm holding on to everything. I haven't really sold much. But April, or the stock market could give back its April gains, and here's the reason why. April was a difficult month for many growth stocks, and there's kind of two things that can happen from here, right? As this article states, either growth stocks finally stabilize, right? Yes, S&P's at all-time highs. Yes, QQQs are pretty darn close to all-time highs, but the growth stocks that were doing super well in January are still pretty darn beat up. So what are we expecting? Well, we're either going to get growth stocks coming up and then taking the market kind of with it, right? Maybe big tech, maybe the big stocks that really make up the S&P take a break, and growth kind of takes over for a little bit. Or the recent weakness that we've kind of seen is going to bring down a little bit the over market. Now, when we say bring down, I'm not talking about a crash, okay? I'm talking about a pullback. Pullbacks are healthy, pullbacks are normal, pullbacks are essential for us to keep going. So don't worry about that. That's what we're talking about here. So, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, we've all got good earnings, but they were, pretty negative the next day. So people are selling into strength. May and June typically tend to be challenging for the market. So after the first week of May, 80% of S&P 500 companies will have reported their earnings. So then what are we kind of waiting for at that point, right? Not a lot. So if the treasury yield starts to come back, again, messes up a lot of things. And the last thing is that last year was a huge year for stocks, okay? And as you guys know, the deadline for filing your taxes is now May 17th, which is coming up in 2 weeks. So if you have money in the stock market, right, or money you made in the stock market last year, might see some selling pressure for people to kind of pay their tax bill. That's just, it's a long shot, but it's a guess. So S&P 500, guys, and this is what I mentioned yesterday, historically gives us a 10% return. This year it's already up over 11%, and we're only a third way done with the year. Just something to keep in mind. But not to scare you guys, just want you to make informed decisions. I'm not really selling much, right? But it's always good to have a cash reserve on the side in case the market drops. You can go shopping for things at a really good price. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.